Welcome
to the joy of coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 337 of The Joy of Coding. My name is Mike Conley. How's it going? Gonna be live hacking on some Firefox stuff. It is September. It is hot out in Toronto right now. If you're in a place where it's really hot, I hear you. It's pretty hot. I hope you're wherever you are, you have a cool drink in front of you, just like me, if it's hot out. Gonna be live hacking on some Firefox stuff. Let's get started. Why delay? Let me start by sharing my screen and putting the agenda in front of us. Yes, it is September 6th, 2023, episode 337. A reminder, no plan survives breakfast. I think I know what's going to go on today. I think I know what I want to work on, but it might go wrong. Might go sideways. I actually, just before I hit record, there was a little foul up with the sounds. Some of you watching the live stream saw it. The people watching the YouTube recording, I'll have that edited out. It's fine. But stuff like that'll happen. Also, I happened to come up with another thing I wanted to do real quick before we get back into the Windows jump list stuff. So we're improvising a little bit. It's all going to be good. But we'll do our best. So no plan survives breakfast. We're going to try and not get stuck, but who knows what'll happen. That's the first thing. Second thing, the agenda that we're looking at is something that you have access to. If you're watching this on YouTube or diode.zone, check out the video description down below for a link to it. If you're watching this on Air Mozilla, it's in the details section over there. And if you're watching this on, what's the last one? Twitch, it's down in the channel details down below. All right, let's get right into it. The thing I wanted to look at before I get back into the Windows jump list stuff is Wacky Morning DJ, which is the thing I use to play sounds. You see this? This is Wacky Morning DJ.
Oh, yeah.
The layout's all kind of funky, and it wasn't always this way. I wrote Wacky Morning DJ, I think, back in 2016, 2017. This was before, I think, CSS Flexbox had fully sort of solidified, had fully, been shipped per spec, even spec'd out. It's only been in the past couple of years that it's been very clearly spec'd out, and I think available on all browsers. And I wanted to fix this because it's just how everything kind of like packs is wrong. I'd like it all to be aligned at the top, and I just want to fix that real quick before I move on. So here's the header. I don't know why that's a page header. Oh, I see. It's a div like that with some margin. I don't know why that's inside of a div. I did all of this before, years and years ago. Who knows? I think I'm using what was it? Some kind of the bootstrap thing. I think Twitter made this, which is like a styled buttons and whatnot. And so I was experimenting with that. Anyway, long story short, I've got all these things. I want this to be aligned up to the top. Let's figure out how to do that. So I've got inside of this container a page header, these items. I think what I basically want to do is tell this container to pack correctly. Like, are these flex areas? What are these? This is display inline block. What I probably want is for this to be a flex area. Not quite. Flex direction column. No, also not right. That is not what I want. What I want here, let's undo that. I like what I've got here. I just need things to be kind of packed to the beginning. Or maybe what I want is like I do want it to be kind of like this. It's basically this, but I need to wrap around. I guess I don't really need to wrap around. Maybe what I really want to do, now that I think about it, is to move this header outside like that. That's not bad. I don't mind that. You know, I'd want to center this header, but like that gives me kind of what I want, which is just a big grid of buttons. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to restructure some of the HTML and then apply this flexing rule. I think that's my plan. So I'm gonna do this real quick. I know this doesn't really have a whole lot to do with Firefox, so just give me a quick second. But it caught my eye, and I wanted to just fix it. Views, is that what I was calling it? It's Wacky Morning. I wrote this like how long ago? Almost 10 years ago at this point. 2016, so 7 years ago, almost 8. Let's. Oh, I see. I was doing something kind of. I was doing like some kind of templating or something. So if I move this outside of the container, what happens? Does that manifest immediately? Can I just reload? And okay, it does. That's good. So that works. And then what I want to do is I'm going to make some of the CSS. I'm going to rewrite some of the CSS. Jade. What is the CSS that's being used? Custom. Style sheets custom. Subble. Where is it? CD public. Style sheets custom. Okay. That's what I was doing before. All right. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this container, which has a width of 117. I'm going to get rid of that class. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to say that the body is going to be, what is it? I think it's margin left auto, or in margin inline auto, and a width of, say, whatever that was. Let's say 1500 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, well, we can make that a little smaller. This is just for me. This isn't a thing that I make for other people. So I'm just going to make it good for me. And I'm going to do this in the simplest way I know how. So 1100 pixels, that looks great. And now I want to align it to the top, the container. Container, display, flex. There we go. But I need it to wrap around. Some of these other rules, messing with it. This is display flex, and I want milestones to wrap around. Flex box, CSS flex box wrapping. Flex wrap. Flex wrap wrap. So maybe that's all I need to say. Flex wrap wrap. There you go. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I don't usually go down here, but this works for me.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so I'm gonna put flex wrap wrap, and there we go. That's better. That's better, I think. Anyways, maybe actually, what I should do, the buttons, maybe this is too wide, or not wide enough. If I make that 1500, I can get them all at once. Maybe that's better. So I don't have to scroll down. 1400, how's that? That's good. Yeah, that's better. I can work with this.
It's me, Mario.
Good. Okay, so let's stick with that. Nothing too wild. All right. Git add, or git status. Git add public index style sheets custom and git add views index git commit fix some styles up to look better, and then there's also some changes I had made so that it would run on a different port. Okay, git add config and reds index. Change default server port to 3002. All right, and then yeah, git pull origin. Do I have? Yeah, git push origin master. All right, there we go. Yeah, 9 vulnerability. I have not pushed to that in a while. It's also not a thing that I've deployed anywhere. So there we go. There's Wacky Morning DJ all kind of set up. I used to actually control this from a tablet sitting elsewhere, and then I could just like hit buttons. And maybe I could even do that with my drawing tablet these days. But for now, let's not worry about it. Instead, let's move on. Let's move back onto Windows jump list. So where had we gotten to last week? I didn't watch the recording, so I don't fully remember, but we were in the midst of writing some G tests. And we were about to get into the really interesting one for populate jump list, and we had like gotten to this question, I think, which was like, how come when I pass in an empty array, I think it's like right here, yeah, I'm passing in just an empty JS value, it's somehow returning NSOK, which is very unusual. And so I'd like to figure out why that is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try using the debugger, because apparently mock gtest takes a --debug command. So let's see what happens. I haven't tried this before. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm hoping that Visual Studio is going to fire up after it's done trying to build this. Build. Populate jump list is, let's see here. What I would have expected is, because custom descriptions. Oh, so we would pass through here. We would bypass these. I guess passing in, maybe it's okay actually. Like, it should be possible to supply an empty jump list to clear it out. Now that I think about it, that's maybe fine. That's maybe fine that we're able to just supply some empty arrays. Now, these aren't arrays. These are, oh yeah, they are NST arrays of JS values, and that's what these that's what we're expecting, right? Like the jump list builder.h. We are expecting populate jump list. Oh, I guess it's in the in here. Yeah, a reference to an NST array of JS values, and they're empty, and that's maybe fine. I mean, so this is okay. This is okay. Now that I've seen it, because this is fine, because we can pass empty arrays to clear out the jump list. The only rule that seems to be enforced is that a custom string must be supplied if any custom tasks are supplied. So we can actually test that next. Like, maybe this is a good first test, is passing nothing. And what do we expect to occur here? Like, we pass nothing. Will this ever resolve? Like, if I put that back and we rebuild, I'm gonna shut this down. I don't need to use Visual Studio anymore. I'm curious what'll happen. So yeah, my assumption was wrong. I'd misunderstood. All right. So this should eventually resolve, right? Like, we'll pass nothing. These items will be empty. And then we'll call do populate jump list. We'll begin the list. We will not end up adding anything to either section. Then we'll commit the list. And then it should resolve with undefined. Yeah, it does resolve with, and so that's great. We actually have our first populate jump list test. What we should ensure, though, is that what was passed to our backend, our testing backend, was an empty collection. That's what we should ensure. That it was passed to an empty collection, both for what are the two calls? There's one that's like add user tasks and append category, right? That's what it uses. The first one for the traditional tasks is using add user tasks. Let's do that one first. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that we can mock this method out. Mock method, it returns an H result. It's called add user tasks. It takes an iObject array. I guess we don't need to do that. And that's it. Add user tasks. And then what I want to say is I want to know, I basically want to do this stuff. I want to take a lock on the monitor and then ensure that we were passed the right stuff. Like this is like the pattern, I think. Will once. So something like this. Monitor. Take a lock. We will expect add user tasks. And instead of what will we be passed? It's going to be, we're going to be passed a reference, or sorry, a pointer to an iObject array. And how does begin list deal with this? Begin list. Expect call, begin list. Need to remember how we've done this in the past. These are it's past a pointer, but that's an out param. This is an in param, the iObject array. So this is going to be interesting. Add user tasks. How do I express that it'll be called with a pointer? Expect call. Mock cookbook. Pointer. Plain pointers to object field. No. To by a pointer argument. C++ functions often take pointers as arguments. You can use matchers like not null and other comparison matches to match a pointer. But what if you want to make sure the value pointed to by the pointer has a certain property? Well, you can use the pointee matcher. Pointee matches a pointer if and only if m matches the value the pointer points to. For example, expects foobar to be called with a pointer that points to a value greater than or equal to 3. So we want to do a little bit more than that. Call will once. Like, it'd be lovely. What I need to get is a reference to the thing it was passed. Once. If you want to verify this call, argument with the match criteria is going to be difficult. If you want to match, for example, send values equals pro, you instead save the arguments and test them individually. Send values. Send values. Save arg, actual proto, actual array. That's what I want. Equals proto. Actual proto, and then expect that they are such and such. I guess I could do that. We'll do once. Once do all. Save arg 1 and 2. Maybe that's what I want. Will once. Save arg. Will once. Expect call mock. Will once. Is anyone else doing what I'm doing with the yeah, here we go. Will once do this stuff. Is the argument passed through? Like, will it be past the I, what is it, I object list? List. Is that, first of all, will that compile? Is that, and is that how it works? And then we want to wait. Assert true that this was called, and Moz assert list. Let's just see if this compiles for a second, because I'm not convinced it will. Excuse me. Okay, not a fan. Not a fan. So it is saying that it doesn't know. Oh, did I get the pointer type wrong? It should be an. What was it? iObject array, not list. iObject array. It has no idea what I mean. iObject array. Whoops. Maybe I'll call it tasks. And so what I'm doing here, because like yeah, I'm waiting until the promise is resolved. I also want to ensure that this was called, and the only way I can do that, I think, is to use this pattern of like notifying on a monitor. I think that works. And then I'll want to do the same thing for the add of the custom tasks, which will happen down here. Add user tasks will be called with some array, and then over here, append category is what I'm going to be dealing with. So we failed for some reason because we didn't get called. Oh, and that makes sense. It makes sense we didn't get called with an empty task list because task descriptions.length is 0. So it wasn't called. And maybe that's fine. When I run, hang on, it's been a while since we've actually not done this in theoretical test land, but in actual, like, you know, execution land. But if I open up the console and I get access to, well, first of all, am I using the legacy backend? Legacy backend. All right, turn it off and restart. So we're using the new backend, and I want to get access to the Windows jump lists. I want to get access to the builder. So let Windows, what is it called? Had all this written out at one point. I don't think it's in here anymore, which is unfortunate. But basically, there was this thing called Win Taskbar Jump List, and I'm going to import it. Chrome Utils import ES module from Windows Jump Lists. sys.mjs is this address. So we're going to bring that in. Oh, where's the console? Good. Okay, so we're going to bring that in, and then we're going to access the builder for a non-private window. And is there there's another builder on it. That's the XPC one. Yeah, the XPCOM component. And we're going to say populate jump list. And I'm going to pass. First of all, what do we have? We've got these things. I'm going to pass nothing. Empty string, nothing. That should be fine. And then what do we get? Okay, everything goes away. So even though this is good, what this tells us is that even though add user tasks doesn't get called, because we commit list having not added any, that's sufficient for telling the Win32 API to just clear the list out. That's good. That means we don't have to do this part. In fact, we expect it to not be called. How do we say expect not called? Expect, what is it? Uninteresting calls. There's something here. I remember. Expect call. How do we say I don't expect this to be called? I expect this to not be called. Not be called. Not called. Expect not. Called. Mocking destructor. This isn't right. Advanced topics. Mocking reference. Assertions. See, expect that. Expect true. String comparison. Expect throw. Expect predicate. Expect exit. Is expect call in here? No, that's interesting. So is it a use on call, use it validate match a single argument. Variadic function. How can I assert that a function is never called? Expect call times 0. That's what I want. Expect. So I'm gonna. This looks useful. I'm gonna hold on to this pattern. I'm gonna put that in a comment block down here. We'll use that later. But for now, we expect add user tasks. Expect call times 0. Now when does that run? Expect call dot time. Expect call. Do test fall. Does this occur after the fact? Like, we might want to do this after the fact. So don't do this part. Do this part. And let's see if it's happy with this. And if that works, then the other thing that I want to do is I also want to ensure that append category was also never called. In fact, we can get ready to set that up. Append category. CW stir. And then iObject array star. All right, run the test. Yes, that's good. That's good. So now we can also expect that add custom What was it? Add custom tasks, right? Append category. Append category. Was also never called. We also should expect that begin list was called once and that commit list was called once. So this is getting real interesting. Mock method h result commit list doesn't take any arguments. I think we can just pass the empty set there. We expect begin list and commit list to be called once each. 2. What do you mean, Smurf D? Begin list to be called once. We expect commit list to be called once. No, in mock it should be just one. In mock. Oh, yeah, sorry, you got me. Yep, good call. Too many underscores. All right, let's run this. Okay, not happy with part of this. It doesn't like... What does it not like? It doesn't know what I mean by begin list. Oh, because begin list takes 3 arguments. Wait, what? No, hold on. Begin list. Requires no candidate function not viable. Requires 2 arguments, but 1 was provided. Oh, I see. I see. That's what you're saying. Begin list. Okay, let's try this. Breaking news. Do you drive a car? Your car might be spying on you. Check this out. Where was it? The Mozilla Foundation recently published a really interesting article on cars. And this came out just today. It's official. Cars are the worst product category we've ever reviewed. If you are interested at all in knowing about what it is that your cars maybe are collecting about you and what they're doing with that data, you might enjoy, and this doesn't need to be a to-do either, or a bullet. Here, hold on. We're going to do this properly. Wacky Morning DJ. Privacy not included. Cars are pretty bad for privacy. This is so the Mozilla Foundation, which is separate from the corporation, recently published this, and this may or may not interest you. You should check it out if you have a car or if you're thinking of getting a car. You know, there's a comparison done between all the different a bunch of different brands, really. I don't see. There are some brands I don't see in here. Is Buick in here? I know people with a Buick. I don't see Buick in there, but maybe it's a sub brand of some that falls under one of these. I don't know. I don't know anything about cars, but it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. I haven't read all of this entirely yet, but I do plan on doing that because you know, I periodically drive. I know people who drive, and it's worth knowing this stuff. So check it out if you care about cars and privacy. I encourage you to check that out. Okay, so now it's upset about something else. Append category is similar. Append category actually takes 2 arguments. Right, not just the one. Append category. What was the other? Append category takes 2 arguments. Commit list and abort list take no arguments. So maybe just that. All right, try that. Ocarus says if they ever get a car, it will not have any electronics. I guess you're going to be driving a soapbox racer or something. I think that's, or maybe you're building your own. Hey, it could happen. Also, bikes are great. Yeah. Horse carriages. Not sure horse carriages are illegal on the highway. Depends on the highway. In rural Ontario, you can definitely find roads where there are, you know, there are signs that say like, okay, people in horse and buggy will be driving on here. Because there are people out there that still do that in rural Ontario. Okay, so that all looks good. This is great. And now we should make this clear what this is doing. Populate jump list empty. Test calling jump list with no arguments with empty arrays and empty arguments to which should just call begin list and commit list without appending any tasks or categories. This should result in an empty jump list for the user. Okay, populate jump list empty. Good, 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 good. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do one. First of all, did I make it so that these are, yeah, you need to pass this stuff. There aren't any that are optional. Populate jump list. We're gonna say only tasks. Test calling jump list with only tasks and empty categories. Empty with only, what do we call them? Custom tasks with only tasks and empty custom items and no custom items. We expect this to call begin list, add tasks. What was it? Add tasks, add user tasks, and with those items, and then commit list. Oh, we also should expect abort list to be called. Abort list times 1. And maybe we should call the following methods on the back end. Abort list in order. abort list, begin list, commit list. I like how it's structured. Okay. This should call the following methods on the back end in order: abort list, commit list, add user tasks. Abort list, begin list, add user tasks, commit list. This should result in a jump list with some tasks presented in the Windows jump list with just tasks presented. And no custom section. Okay. So we didn't really need my custom title. This could have been the empty string, because it's supposed to be empty. Okay. This is also going to be empty here. We also don't need the monitor. I forgot. We don't need the monitor here. Don't need to take a lock. We will for this one. Tea is ready. Did someone hear the... Someone heard the kettle. Danny Colin heard the kettle, and Danny met the person who's making tea right now. And so it's possible I'll be getting a tea delivery. It's a hot day for tea, but let's get some tea going. I'm very excited for that. Okay, so one of the interesting challenges here is we have to figure out how to add things to our task description. We need to add... Oh, we talked about this last time. How to construct the JavaScript representation of a task. Oh boy. Oh boy, how are we going to do this? Might need some helpers for this, because this is going to be pretty boilerplate. Huh. Okay. Well, let's not freak out. Yeah, we'll want that. We'll also want this. Test back and add user tasks. We'll want to be inspecting those tasks. And that. And so now we have to do the thing where we actually duplicate that. We actually need to add some items to task desks. This should fail. I expect this to fail. I forgot we also need to await our monitor. And this should fail. Louis Rossman just published video about privacy in cars and the anti-privacy ads the car lobbyists made to fight the right to repair. Very interesting. If this topic interests you, I have not watched this video. I can't endorse it. But
hey everybody, how's it going?
It is being shared in the channel. I recognize this fellow. I think he does a lot of like repair videos. I do recognize. Oh, look, he's on Matrix. Cool. Yeah. Wow. Okay, hold on. This guy's pretty professional streamer. Anyways, I don't have a good sense of what's in that video, but just in case you're interested, I'll put it here for reference. Okay. I guess we can close this window altogether. did that build? It failed, as expected. It failed because our timeout. Yeah, we didn't hit our timeout. We also didn't call add user tasks. Commit list or begin list. Why is that? I would have at least expected... Hang on. Let's run that again. I would have expected begin list and commit list, these assertions, to have still worked. Rossmann Repair Group fights for right to repair. That sounds righteous. That's good. I like repairing stuff. Can you tell? It just takes me a while whenever I do it an hour and a half every week. And we've done like the important part, I think. I'm like building more confidence that what we have is like a well-functioning replacement, and it so that worked. Oh. 335 337 317 actual function call count doesn't match. 317 here. And 284 and 281. These don't match. So if I make assert, is that a thing that exists? Assert call? No. How do I make expect call like a fatal? It's weird that. Mocking reference. So it's like creates the expectation. The parameters matchers uninteresting calls. It's interesting that unexpected there's some step, but none of the matches the call. An unexpected call is always an answer. An uninteresting call is not an error. Nice mock and strict mock returns uninteresting call warnings into errors. So maybe in this case I want strict mock. Now that we're getting into like function calls and stuff. Oh, it's upset about something. Maybe it doesn't know what strict mock is. Oh, of course. Strict mock. I need to change the type. Gang, it's time. Here it is. Tea delivery. Thank you very much. Adieu. Got my tea delivery, everybody. Let's test it. Is it tea? We heard the kettle whistling. It is tea. It is quite hot. Thank you very much for the tea delivery. Very tasty. So I'm curious to know if maybe I should have been using strict mock this whole time. Now that we're getting to the nitty gritty of expecting certain functions to be called in particular orders. Uninteresting mock call. Uninteresting mock function call. Return default value. Function call. Set app ID. Returns 0. Abort list. And then begin list. Oh, abort list is also called first, right? Just in case that we happen to be in the midst of one? Yeah, okay. So, and then what's the other one? Set app ID. Set app ID. Oh yeah, right at the very beginning whenever we construct this thing. Okay. Set app ID. I think we can assert and expect certain things. Expect call. So we'll say expect call set app ID times 1. We also call or expect abort list to be called. Abort list. We're in the wrong one. Are we in the wrong one? No. Why? Oh yeah, 0 0 1 1 0 0 1. That's what we expect. And maybe we can get rid of these other two because the fact that we're using a strict mock more or less covers that case. Let's also temporarily comment this out and see what happens. I wonder if we should be using more strict mocks, but let's not worry about it just yet. So far, I'm really digging the Gmock framework. You know, all things told, it's pretty good. I'm learning. Okay, it doesn't like that abort list. Oh yeah, abort list doesn't take any arguments. Dot times 1 expect call times will once. Oh, that's handy. You can do that. Expect call at times once will once return true. Okay, failed because uninteresting mock call, mock function call, return default value. Function call set app ID. So populate jump list empty. Over here, yeah, using our strict mock. Expected to be called once. Never called. Do I have to, like, do these earlier? That might be the case, that I have to, like, set these up first. Set up the expectations before I call populate jump list. That I can believe. That you kind of have to set the trap and the expectations, do the thing, and see if it matches what you had set up. I can understand that. And if that works, we might even be able to simplify some of this earlier stuff too and start using more strict mocks. Once notify past ID. Good. Yeah, I think we can actually make this simpler. We might not even need this. We can go like will once times 1 will once return SOK. Can we do that? That might be simpler. So we'll ensure that the ID, that this ID is what's passed in. Oh, and then it doesn't, we don't need to do this part. And if that's the case, if we can hold that pattern, then we actually don't need the whole monitoring thing, and we can get rid of some of this stuff. The wait timeout, which would be really great, because that seems a bit superfluous. Now that we're like, we've figured out how to wait for the promise, we've got our spin until resolved thing. It might be superfluous. We just need to make sure that those things were called with particular arguments. So if this passes, that tells me, like, I'll keep those things around for now. Oh, no good. Never called on 132. Call set app ID unsatisfied because one function call count doesn't match the expectation. Function call arg actual never call, expected to be called once. This almost seems contradictory. We saw a mock function call returning the default value, and it was unexpected. Oh, that's in construction. Yeah. And I would expect that to happen here. Test backend. Didn't match. Actual expected to be called. It was never called. Really? Oh, you know what? Yeah, we need the monitor in this particular case because there's no promise that gets resolved here. We do need it. We do need it. Sorry, gang. We're gonna hold on to that pattern because the constructor doesn't return a promise. And maybe that's something we can explain in here, but okay, that makes sense to me. Okay, so we've got our strict mock going on here. Maybe the rest of them should also be made strict. Maybe all of our mocks should be strict mocks. Put that on the list. Until then, let's just carry on. So here, jump list only. We're going to make this a strict mock as well. Excuse me. And so we're going to need this and this. We want that. I don't think we need this part. We don't need a monitor. I mean, do we? Expect call. Yeah, I don't think we need a monitor. We'll say times once. I think we need to move all this stuff up here. And we're gonna move this here. And this should fail, but that's okay. I think we're getting it though. We're getting the format of these things. We're going to figure out how to now add items like JavaScript items. There might be helps for this via dictionary base. I'd found something last week which might be helpful. To JS value. So if I can construct something of dictionary base, I might be able to use to.js value on it. JS value. Which is just some global to.js value. Oh, Mozilla DOM 2. Okay. Okay. So maybe if I bring that in, I can just... What? I did not expect that to pass. Jump list builder, populate jump list empty. Did it not? I don't think I've run it since. This should fail. But what I can do is I'm going to say using Mozilla DOM to.js value. And do I need to bring in to.js value? Yeah. To.js value. Okay, it's upset about something. 319. Here, it doesn't. Right. doesn't know what I mean. I don't actually think we need the monitor because we've got our promise. Yeah. This is getting exciting. Okay, so let us now create a, what's called a, what did we call it right from the very beginning? A description. Oh, did I put it somewhere else? I did. I put it over here. A Windows jump list shortcut description. Let's get that. And that is a thing that I think I can construct. Let's get the binding, and we'll bring it over. We'll bring it into here. Mozilla DOM Windows jump list shortcut description binding. We're going to construct a binding, convert it to a JS object. This is really nice. If this works, I'm going to be very happy. Okay, we're going to create one of these things. Now, how do you do that? Let's see here. So where's the jump list builder? Description binding. Custom descriptions. Desk init. I could probably make that more efficient too. If I understand this correctly, I could use two JS. Oh no, maybe I'm wrong. This is the other way around. I say desk. I'm going to create one of these things. Something like this. I'm going to say we're going to create one of these things. And now how do I append element, standard move, desk? I'm going to, instead of initting it, I think, or do I want to init it? Let's look at an example of a different dictionary, one that's already in the tree. Dictionary, WebIDL. What's one that's likely to be used from and constructed within native code? Maybe input event. Dictionary input event. And now let's see. Input event binding. There is such thing as a fast dictionary initializer. You can also init it with JS values. What is a fast dictionary initializer? Force dictionary, not init. Dictionaries don't have access to it. Fast dictionary initializer. UI event init. What I want to see is a dictionary being constructed in native code. That's what I want. Let's just pick. I'm just picking. Yeah, I'm picking at random. Moz proxy info. Oh, I'm filtering on .webidl. Here we go. Moz proxy info. Result, fill proxy info. Try get host, get flags. This is to get stuff out, but you can also just set members on it. And the members on our Dealio. So can I say like m title equals such and such? I think I can. So let's see. Let's just try that out. So desk dot m title equals. Now this is a DOM string. Here, dictionary. Let's look for another dictionary that has a DOM string in it. Dictionary. DOM string, document title. So window info dictionary. Where is there? No. That's all generated code. DOM string, HTML content. Error occurred. Please try again. How about that? No? How would I reload the page? Search Fox, where are you at? HTML content, CPP. This maybe is too generic. Yeah, that's too easy to confuse that with other things. Windows file attributes. Looking for a dictionary that has make options passed to make directory. DOM string. Dictionary. File info. Good. IOUtils. File info. Construct. Info.m path. Construct. Construct to emplace returns. We work with it usefully. So I could just maybe mtitle.construct. Does something like that exist? Mtitle other value. So if I go like mtitle.construct. Let's see some examples of .construct. And then .construct. Come on. And then anything with strings, localized string. Here we go. String value. It says C string, NSAuto C string. Struct. Okay, well I could just do an auto string. NSAuto string. I think we've done that elsewhere. Yeah. NSAutoString title my test task. So can I just pass it title? Construct title. That might work. I probably have to pass some other stuff. There's some required stuff. What are the required things? The title, the path, the description, and the fallback icon index. So let's copy this over for a sec. I I've passed in a title, a path, ns auto string path, some test path.exe, and then I want the description, ns auto string description. This is a test description, and then a fallback icon index isn't a string, so we don't need to worry about that. So desc m path.construct path, desc m description.construct description, and then desc m, what is it? M fallback icon index. M fallback icon index construct. May I just say 0? Does that work? Will this compile? I don't think so, because this needs to be a JS value. So I have to do one more thing, which is to say to JS value. And that might be the last step. To JS value. Dictionary. Dict. You pass it a context. Okay, okay. I think this is how it works. You say rooted JS value, and we're going to say desc JS value with our context, and then we're going to do this thing. To, if not to JS value, description desc JS value, then what we should do actually is Moz always true. I don't know why it's different from assert. I'm going to say assert true. And then I'm going to say, yeah, append element desc JS value. Let's see if that's better. Does the web IDL, why M title and not just title? Does the web IDL C++ translator rename the fields? Yes, it does. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's automatically doing that. There's an old Mozilla convention. Oh, interesting. What's going on here? Did you mean Mozilla? Oh, okay. So I need to make it clear which one I'm using. Using Mozilla DOM Windows jumpless shortcut description. No member named construct in NST string. Oh. So maybe I don't need to construct. Maybe I just need to set or assign. Like maybe I just need to do like M title equals. Yeah, okay. No member name construct an NST string. So maybe I can just go title equals title. And path equals path. And description equals description. The reason I'm keeping these as separate variables is I'm going to want to compare these to what's created on the other side, I think. What do you think of this? I would be very pleased if we can get a task sent to the other thread, having gone through our whole, flow here. Okay. Don't use construct. We're going to say just 0. If that works, holy. Then what we can do is we can pass these strings into this lambda and then do a comparison. We'll assert that the tasks that worked. Woo! That's incredible. So now what we can do is check that the tasks are what we expect them to be. Moz assert. So the iObject array, we're going to say Moz assert tasks. How do you check the length of an iObject array? Have we done this before? Object array. It's a collection. iObject array. What is the definition of an iObject array? Interface. Has these members. Get at and get count. Provides count of the objects in the collection. Now, is iCollection better? Because I'm pretty sure that's ultimately what this thing is a collection. NSI, an object collection. Instance. Collection. NSI object collection. Is that better? iObject collection. Inherits from iObject array, which we were just looking at. Get at, get count. Okay. So I think what we can do is we should be able to say get count, which returns a uint. Oh, I see. It's okay. H result hr equals tasks get count, and then we need to pass in a pointer to our count. So what we need is what is a uint? Count. Windows. We've done this before. Collection ulong count. Do with that count. Just make sure that is Jump Builder count. And then we can just compare. Oh, I see. Object array. We can use uint32t. Okay. Uint32t count equals 0. We're going to get the count. We're going to assert count equals 1. Let's see. Show me passing. And then we'll verify that this is working by ensuring that if count is not equal to, like, we'll change this assertion to be count equals 2, and that should fail, and we expect that to fail. Unused variable hr. Right. Still not happy about something. And include error. No member named toObject internal. Oh. I thought we had this working before. I didn't change. 327. Test jump list builder 327. Assert true. No member named. Okay, so this is not working. 2JS value didn't work. We got back up a little bit. No member named 2object internal. Is that something I need to somehow implement? That doesn't make sense. I thought we saw this is something that we get for free. Dictionary if enable if t standard enable t value bool 2JS value context argument. You get a JS value out. And what we do is we call 2object internal. Okay. So who implements 2object internal? Dictionary. Test dictionary base. So that should work. I mean, we should have one of these things if the bindings are creating, if like we're generating one of these things. What's it complaining about? No member named 2object internal on Mozilla DOM Windows jump list shortcut description. So let's take a look at the generated binding. I'm almost ready to call it. Which one are we on? We're on default. See, omg default dist find Windows jump list shortcut description binding.cpp. Windows jump list shortcut description binding.cpp. What? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Find it. Shortcut description binding.cpp. Find it. Are you serious? How about the header? Windows. There it is. Mozilla include Windows Mozilla DOM. So maybe it's all in Mozilla DOM Windows jump to what was it? To object internal. So it doesn't know about that. And is 2object internal ever generated inside the headers? Sometimes. So what makes these special? How come they got generated with them? Are these decorated with something? Dictionary. Inspector RGBA. How come this one got generated with the 2object internal? But ours under, it's also a struct under dictionary base. There's some inits. Trace dictionary. But that's it. come? How come? Somehow, when we generate the bindings, code gen. What is doing the to object internal? If type is dictionary. This is the code that generates the bindings. Where are we? To JSON. Needs conversion to JS. Get dictionaries converted to JS. Is JS implemented? Is callback? It's true. If generate, generate to JSON, generate conversion to JS. Generate init from JSON, generate conversion to JS. So is that what we need? We need to like decorate it. Generate conversion to JS. WebIDL. Is there some kind of documentation? Of course not. Oh, I just dictionaries no longer automatically get an init method that takes JSON string and you can annotate the dictionary to the IDL. Generate init from JSON. Dictionaries can only automatically get code to convert a dictionary to a JS object if the need for such code can be deduced from WebIDL that uses the dictionary, i.e. it's used as a return value. Consumers need to manually convert dictionaries to objects in C++ using to.js file can annotate using generate conversion to JS. Okay, and this was back in the day, 2019. Okay, so I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to update our description here to say generate conversion to JS. I'll actually put that after. And I think I can rebuild. And that's going to take a little while, I think. Whenever you change a binding, a bunch of stuff changes. I'm going to give this like a good minute to see how long it's going to take to do the build. If it turns out, yeah, it's rebuilding the bindings. It's just doing widget windows. Okay. Failed to write output to distbin Firefox. Permission denied. Okay. I probably have a process open still. Let's shut that off and try it again. I'm gonna escape. Let's try it again. But that was a faster build than I thought it would be. Thankfully, I pulled the IDL out of Chrome utils. Like, I pulled this dictionary definition out of Chrome utils because Chrome utils is used everywhere, and its header is used everywhere. And so as soon as you change something in Chrome utils, you have to rebuild lots of stuff. Because when you change a header that's used everywhere, that ends up changing a lot of code. And the compiler has to recompile, and you end up missing the cache a lot. All right, let's see it. Come on. I think this is going to be worth the wait, gang. It's going to at least tell us whether or not we're on our way to finishing off these tests, because once we verify that this works, this technique works, now I'm really confident that we can get these tests probably written and finished off within the next 2 episodes. The G tests, and then we can clean it up, push it up for review, and start working on the other tests, which are the tests of the thing that calls into the XPCOM component rather than the XPCOM component itself. Yes, Okris is like, great, so finally there's light at the end of the tunnel? Yes. We've been inching our way there, army crawling our way over kilometers, learning a lot. The good news is that whenever it comes to testing the XPCOM component, I am far more comfortable doing that. Like, that is something that I think we could probably knock off in a single episode. And that will not block the stuff that we've written can be up for review while we do that. And then we can sort of come up with a plan for, once it's all done, we land it, and then I start working with our product people about like a tentative rollout plan. We'll probably want to do an experiment and make sure that we don't see crashes out in the wild, and that we see like a drop in hangs in the treatment branch. And once we're happy with that, then we can start gradually rolling out to more people. And then we can, once it's rolled out to 100%, then we can get rid of the old back end, and Bob's your uncle. Woo! That worked. Only tasks. It worked. It worked, gang. This is gonna do it. This check it out. This worked. Well, hold on. Before we go, let's do this. And then that's also I know these are contradictory, but let's just see. And yeah, eventually we can work on something else. We're getting there. We've been talking about jump lists for over a year, off and on, mostly on though. I'd say, all told, if I run the math, we've probably done about 2 weeks of full-time effort on this patch, on these patches, which, for something that's complicated and for being outside of my comfort zone, that's about right, I'd say. It's about 1 sprint's worth of effort. Wait, this isn't a jump list stream? I'll bet it feels like it. Soon we will be off the jump list. What? Hold on a second. I am now skeptical because I would have expected some complaining. Maybe what we need to do actually is what is the difference? Yeah, this is kind of a jump list stream, Craig. You are correct. And soon it will be something else. We'll come up. You know what we should, once we do the review, because I'm going to want to do like a sort of an overarching review. I don't want to watch all the episodes, but I'll go through maybe some of the high level notes of what we did for this entire project. And then we can, once I've done that, we can start thinking about the next interesting thing to work on. We'll find something nice and juicy. Maybe some smaller stuff. This was rather large, like a big architecture, a re-architecture, a big, and then a crash. Good. Okay. So, I guess what I want is like Moz release assert. It's too bad I can't do like I want to do I want to be able to say, hey, I expected that these tasks to be a certain way. I want to be able to do them in here. But I think that's maybe the wrong place to do it. Like, this is really supposed to be where you generate the return value. And so what I probably need to do is write a new kind of matcher. Yeah. So it is making it through. We made sure that count is 1. So we're going to, next week, we're going to write a new kind of matcher. So we figured out how to do that. And we're going to write a new kind of matcher to match against the shell link that has been passed to add user tasks and compare it to the Windows jump list shortcut description. Don't you have something like assert equal count equal 1? Yeah, but I can't use them in here. That's the problem. One of the things that we found out, I think a couple episodes ago, is that the function signature for will once will start to complain once you start using any assertions in here. These macros return, or they do certain things that change the, I don't know, it changes the signature or something. I don't like, here, let's show, I'll show you. And then we'll end the episode. Assert EQ count 1. Pretty sure this will fail. I mean, if it doesn't, that's amazing. Then we don't need to do anything special, but I'm pretty sure this won't work. I think it'll complain. But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't like it because the return value is different. Like anything that's using assert EQ or assert true, I guess it like, yeah, it does not, it doesn't match. It doesn't match, everybody. That's the problem. Okay, so to do, replace this with a custom matcher. Okay, let's commit our work. And we'll call it there. Thank you so much for watching episode 337, not 67, 337 of The Joy of Coding. Let me know what you thought. We made some progress today. I think we're over the hump of the populate jump list test, G-test. I think we're over the hump. Now that we know how to do the things. The hardest thing, I think, was figuring out how to convert, how to do the conversion to a JS value from native C++ code, how to construct one of these things, how to set properties on it on the Windows jump list shortcut description, and then convert it into a JS value that can then be converted back by the jump list builder, you know, which is also written in native code, because the caller is expected to be JavaScript, but we're calling it from C++, so we're having to jump through some extra hoops. But that's okay. I'm learning a lot. What'd you think? What'd you think of the episode? Let me know what you thought. There's a rate this episode form. I'm going to put a link to it in the chat. Rate this episode. Let me know what you thought. I read everything that comes in. If you have questions, that's a great place to ask questions. I'll try and answer them on the next stream. And thanks for watching. So I will see you hopefully next week with episode 338. Have yourselves a great week, everybody. Take care. Oh, I gotta open up my fancy new Wacky Morning DJ. Bye-bye. Nope, wrong button.
The joy of coding.
See ya.